Hi, nobodies. Tonight I want to discuss music therapy and mental health. Disclaimer: I am not a medical professional. I am not a medical healthcare professional. I am just a crazy girl who loves music. So, um, no big uh, secret that music can put you in a mood. Um, when you're sad and you want to feel sad, you want to wallow in it. You listen to the sad songs. You don't want to hear anything to dance to. You want to listen to the sad songs. When you're pumped up, you want to listen to something that's pumped up. When you're angry, yeah, that's the one. When you're angry, of course you're going to listen to angry songs. I mean, you can bet like school shooters and stuff, like people who go and kill people, they're not listening to Celine Dion. They're not. They're listening to Slipknot, Slayer, Death Angel, just Five Finger Death Punch, which are all great bands. But they are geared towards that testosterone fueled mind. Some girls get it. Uh, some girls like it, because I can respect creativity and when something is good. Like I would love Slayer if they had a different singer. Nothing against him, I mean, I just don't like his voice. But I love the background. That's just me. But the thing is like people play stuff, and you always know like a lot of our memories are connected with music. Like I can't listen to Celine Dion because I hear my mother singing Celine Dion songs off key. And I mean, my mom had like, okay, one, she had a horrible voice, and two, she wouldn't get the words right. So I'm like, that's like my talent is that I can hear a song once and I know it. I will. It's very rare if I mess up the lyrics. Very rare. So I won't listen to Celine Dion because I hear my mother. My husband hears Elvis. He thinks of his mom cleaning the house because that's what she would play. Um, I don't like the songs. You know, I mean, I'll choose not to listen, but they don't really like put me in a really bad place. There is a song that puts me in a bad place that I absolutely cannot listen to, and that's "Every Rose Has Its Thorn" by Poison because um, one, it's overplayed. It got so much play, and it came out in '88 or '89, and uh, I was around 12 or 13 when it came out, and I liked it at first. I mean, I loved it at first. I mean, who didn't? That was a great song. And then my friend Corey started listening to it on repeat and cutting herself. And I'd never seen a cutter before. I just remember thinking at the time, like, why do you keep listening to this song if it makes you want to cut yourself? You know, like when I was taking my Bic lighter and like getting it hot and sticking it to my skin to like brand myself with a smiley face, I wasn't listening to anything in particular. you know, um, I mean, I was into Pantera a little bit later. Like I think they Pantera was like 92, somewhere around in there. It was right around when grunge got big, if I remember correctly. See, I associate music with like ages that I was and like what was going on around me at the time. That's how I remember events. It's like, okay, well, I don't remember what day, month, year that was. Well, I'll remember the year because that's also one of my special skills that somebody can say, "Hey, what song goes like, and then they'll tell me like a couple of words. And I'll say, "Oh yeah, that's this song by this artist and that came out in 1988 or whatever year, and I might be off by two. Most of the time, if I'm off, it's by one year. Um, but when it comes to remembering hearing it, it's more of little kid, older kid, young teen, 16, 19, 20s, you know. Um, but when you ask me about a specific one, I'm like, oh yeah, that's such a that. And sometimes I can even, a lot of times I can even tell you the album if it was something that I was really into. Like if you mentioned any hair bands in the 80s, I could tell you what album it was. It'd be a really neat trick if I could tell you what track number it was. I mean, I can tell you, oh, that was the first song on side one, or that was the first song on side two. That I remember. If I owned it, and I owned a lot of tapes, a lot. But music is so good for you. But you have to bear in mind that music is not everything. Like, it won't fix everything. Um, when I'm having an anxiety attack and I'm in my car, I mean, I've always got music on, always with music. So that doesn't stop a panic attack. But, like, if a, an animal dies or a person dies, then music does help. If you're having panic attacks and depression and things like that that are long term, you really need to see somebody. I mean, music therapy is great, but it's not all there is for that. Music therapy is something that you use for right now, I can't think straight because I'm so sad. Or right now, I'm just filled with woohoo, or I'm so mad I could punch a wall. You know, music is great for either embracing that or toning it down. Um, and everybody knows what their stuff, what they like. And but music is not a therapist because if you listen to music, you know, and your boyfriend cheats on you, you just might fall. You don't need to be listening to Carrie Underwood. As far as she's not giving you advice. She's just singing a song. So you don't need to go commit vandalism on the dude's vehicle. That's what happens when music is your therapist. You might get a bad idea. It's a great song to sing, to listen to, and once you're like good and over the initial hurt of it, it's like, yeah, I should have done that. I should have. You go, girl. It was probably written by a man. um, that I'm not so good with always knowing who the songwriters are, um, especially with country. But it is great for getting you through times of grief, through times of, like, I say, listen to the sad stuff when you need to wallow in the sadness. Because sometimes you need to. Like when somebody dies or a pet dies or you lost your job and you're crying because you feel like you're a fuck up. All these gnats are hitting you in the head, negative automatic thoughts. That's what gnats are. I will probably always tell you what gnats are. Um, all that stuff going through your head. Sometimes you need to wallow. I mean, normally with the gnats, though, or somebody has come and insult you, like, sad songs are not good when you're out in public and somebody points out or verifies a gnat, a negative automatic thought that, like if you're sitting there thinking I'm ugly and somebody calls you ugly, that's proof in your head. I mean, especially with us crazies, it's proof in your head if that's one of those things. Now, if if that's not, then it won't bother you that that person called you ugly. But if it tears you down, you're just sitting there going, I can't believe people can be so mean. And I'm so horrible. I'm so this. I'm so that. That's when you need something happy. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be some sunshine lollipop stuff, you know. No, it can just be something upbeat, you know, like you can listen to Ass Like That by Eminem, or Without Me, or, you know, listen to some rap or whatever, you know, whatever is going to ultimately what you really want to be doing is kind of dancing. Now, if you don't dance, you know, anything that gets you going, you know, just kind of like feeling it, that helps when you're in that kind of sad, that kind of issue. Because there's not always a friend with a shoulder to cry on. Um, you're not always at the therapist's office when this happens. You may not want to blog it. You may not want to write it down or put it in a thing to talk to the therapist about when you see them. So I have, since I am such a Nazi about my music, I mean, everything is like, I'm very specific with it. I have playlists, you know, and there's my soul, which is the songs that I feel are things that I would say if I could say them. I mean, I could say them, but these are things that either the words are perfectly fitting for how I feel, or the melody just gets me, you know, or just the tone of the song is just like, oh, I love this song. You know, when it comes on, it's just like your favorite of the favorite. Um, then I got dance, which can have, you know, it can have Stevie Wonder. You can have Stevie Wonder on it. It can have some old Louis Armstrong, Lady Gaga, Keisha, her earlier stuff. Her later stuff is in my rock playlist because I didn't know what to do with those, some of those things that don't make me feel good or make me feel bad. They're just good songs that I like. Um, and also in that dance category, I will put stuff like Eminem, 50 Cent, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, because those are songs that get me wanting to move. And I used to call the playlist Move, for my workouts. It was the Move playlist. Um, I've also got a chill playlist, which is just filled with songs that are just meant to be kind of ambiance, you know. Um, and I did that when my husband was talking about he just wanted some songs for like when somebody's high and they just want to feel it drift over them. So I did chill, um, chill and move. And I don't think I have one of sad songs because I never need to wallow in it. It's I'm always thinking and I'm always analyzing things that happen and replaying things over and over in my head, trying to see it from various points of view. So I don't I don't need to wallow. I choose to move on, but that's my deal. I know some people need that. So you might think about, okay, you know, um, a good one, I think, I don't know if it's good, but the first thing that pops into my mind is "Bound to You" by Christina Aguilera as a sad song, even though it's not really a sad song. Or is it a sad song? I can't determine. It's just a pretty song. So it's just in my regular like rock playlist because like I said, I didn't want to differentiate between rock and pop and all that. I separate them into different categories you got. But anyway, having those moods set up on there, we live in a great time where when something happens, you've got access to what's going to make you feel better as far as music goes. If it's a trip down memory lane, like from when you were a kid, because I got my stuff sorted by decade too. So it's like, okay, I want to listen to 80s. Boom. You got all kinds of stuff from the 80s that I liked. So, it is the best when you are feeling something and you don't want to talk about it, or you're not ready to talk about it, whatever it is, or you're just like, man, if I say something, I'm going to have to apologize, or I'm going to say something or do something I'm going to regret. When you get like that, when you're holding on by like a thin thread, hit YouTube, click some music, have that shit on the ready, like put it in your save music, listen to that stuff and let yourself get calm, or less teary, make yourself feel better. That's the best advice I can give. Now, like I said, if you're experiencing like suicidal thoughts, often anxiety, if you're not able to get out of bed for days at a time, like if you're sleeping all the time and you're just all the time, like life sucks, I hate my life, you're just like that all the time, seek therapy. I'm not saying you'll need drugs, but talk to somebody, because music is not going to tell you what to do. It can help you get out of bed. It can help you start your day. It can help you get ready for bed. It can help some people have sex. It can help you work out. It's got so many uses for how it can help, but it's not going to fix a chemical imbalance. It's not going to fix a bent mind. It's not going to fix, just like it won't fix diabetes. You can't, music will not cure cancer. Sometimes you need to ask a medical professional for help, and whether you're going to be needing them for a short period of time, or in my case, forever. It's just a fact of my life that I'm going to be in therapy forever. I'm going to be on meds forever. And there's no shame in it. It's not your fault if your brain's wired funny, or if your chemicals are, if your brain isn't making the chemicals work right, or if your family screwed you up, life screwed you up, that's not your fault. It's not. So there's no shame in seeking help for it. As I've often said, the shame is that you're wasting your life away waiting for things to change, waiting for it to just magically get better. Nothing magically gets better. You have to work for it. You have to work for it. Whether it's getting up out of bed and greeting the sun, going to a therapist, going to a doctor, these things, these people are there specifically to help people who need help, and they're there for that. So don't expect everything to magically get better. Don't expect, even if you like take medicine, don't expect to be perfect. Like, don't expect a medication to make you the way you want to be, because you're not going to find that either. You end up determining your new normal. And what you have to ask yourself is my current normal, can my current normal be better or worse? And if your current normal can't be much worse, it's time to go talk to somebody. If your current normal couldn't be much better, you're good. High five to you. You are good. My normal is pretty much level. My normal is probably normal. Just kind of numb. That's where I set the bar. But I do know what abnormal looks like to me, and I know which way I want to go. So the only reason I change medications is if I think that I can raise that normal, if I can make the normal better, because I won't settle for less than what I have right now as far as medication goes. It better do as well as it's doing right now, or I need to take something else. No shame in it. Get better so you can enjoy the gift of life, and have a good night.